Okay. So I'm gonna go over the two trades I took today. The first one ended up being a loss. The second one ended up being a break-even trade. Um, Definitely some choppy price action today, as you can see. I got caught up in the chop on the first one. Both the trades I took this morning were valid trades, so I can't be upset with the outcome. Uh, I can only be upset with the input. And today I can't be upset with the input because I followed my rules. I followed the model both times. And these are two trades that if I was back testing in the future and I came across January 15th, 2026, these are two trades that with my current model I would have entered. So let's just go over the trades that I took. So coming into today, we did take previous daily high right before market open. Um, we took it on ES as well. I marked out previous daily low, and that's really the bulk of what I marked out for on the daily time frame. There's really not much else to focus on the daily. Then you go to the 4 hour, and you'll notice this candle at 10 a.m. it closed, and we ended up inversing this fair value gap here. So that obviously makes us more bullish. Um, on top of that, we obviously opened up this new 4 hour, which is what I took my second trade off of, and we'll go over that. But yeah, as far as when I first came to the markets this morning, this was not a valid fair value gap yet because this candle hadn't closed yet. And this wasn't a valid inversion yet because we, again, hadn't closed this candle yet. This candle closed at 10 a.m. So the 4 hour, that's pretty much what I was waiting on, was that 10 a.m. candle. Um, if you go to the hourly, I was looking at this unfilled hourly fair value gap here because that was valid. We still did not tap into it because we produced a 4 hour and tapped into the 4 hour and rallied from there so far. But yeah, that's what I was originally hoping for. I was hoping we would retrace back to this area here and then be able to take a long from there. Because we didn't do that, my first trade, even though it was valid, it was a long setup in a deep premium. So I can understand why I ended up getting stopped out. But again, a trade I would take again. So yeah, that's the hourly. If you go to the 15-minute, you'll see the 15-minute candle here. That's where the majority of my focus was this morning because we were trading inside of there. I'm respecting it. And that's what I based my first entry off. So you'll see trading our higher time frame fair value gap we were using was the 15-minute here. We got a sweep of the lows here with this wick right here. Yes, we did sweep the highs here, but what we did do is we left equal highs on ES. So I know that's why I got stopped out, was because of the SMT there. But because we were respecting the 15-minute and because we were just bullish, I mean, my bias couldn't have been bearish at that point. I don't even think at this point did we form. No, when I entered this trade, we hadn't closed the 4 hour yet. Obviously, it's pretty obvious we were going to close around this area 10 minutes before. But, you know, at the end of the day, we were using the 15-minute fair value gap as a point of interest to bounce from, and it was doing that. And it did it too well because it enticed me to enter. So, again, the sweep of the lows, immediate bounce, nice push. Got in with a market order at around a 1-to-1. And for this trade, I did not really have a break-even point. My break-even was just going to be this midway point to the TP because there really wasn't a high to take on the way there. And yeah, ended up just running down back to my stop loss here. Again, it was a valid trade because I had everything I needed. I had a higher time frame fair value gap being the 15-minute. I had a sweep on liquidity. I had a valid take profit being the previous high. Obviously, the take profit could have been nicer. Um, I wish there was an equal high there, um, or something that would be more of a magnet. But at the end of the day, it's a previous high in a uh, a day that is obviously long biased. I, yeah. So, and then of course the 2 minute inversion and a nice pump. Like this wasn't a fake, some sort of fake bullshit pump. Like this was we rallied in these two candles here. I mean, we really pushed fast. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. I got stopped out. That's that. It happens. My model is definitely not 100% win rate. It's not even, it's not even 80. It's on a good month, it's 70% win rate. So, we're gonna lose some. It is what it is. Uh, and again, like you could see, we ended up just getting caught in chop. Like, look at this price action after we entered, right? So, that was the first trade, and then the second trade. Let me unhide the tool here. Just had to pause there for work, so let me just get back to it. So yeah, looking at the new trade here. Let me hide the other one. So this was the second trade of the day, and you can see it's slowly playing out. I would imagine it will end up hitting our TP slowly but surely here, just because I really don't see a reason for us to go any lower here. We are obviously bullish. We tapped into the 4 hour and had a great reaction from there. Yeah, I think there's really realistically we didn't leave a 15-minute fair value gap, nothing behind. So realistically, yeah, this should hit our TP. That is no longer there because I broke even, but at the end of the day, I believe our bias will be right here with the trade. Anyhow, I like this trade more because at this point we had gotten a retracement into a 4 hour fair value gap. That's not to say I regret taking the first trade because it fit my model, but the first trade was a bit more premium. This second trade ended up being a nice setup from the 4 hours. So as you can see, I already showed the 4 hour, but again, tapped into the 4 hour unfilled. Once we did that, we had a great reaction. Obviously, we're sweeping liquidity by tapping into there. And we had a great reaction from there. I was really hoping that we would inverse with this candle. We didn't. We inversed with this candle. Luckily, I was looking at two things. I was looking at this high here. I didn't want this high because this was my break even on NQ. I didn't want this to get taken before I got my entry, which luckily didn't happen. So we got our entry with the limit here. But I was also looking at ES because ES was very close to hitting these highs again. It was right around here. So we didn't take these highs. So because we didn't take these highs, that was also nice to be able to enter from there. If we took those highs before I got my entry, I might have still entered, but I wouldn't have liked it as much. And my break even again, it was this high on NQ, so we ended up taking that and then instantly just going lower from there, and then we started to rally up again, and now, what do you know? It looks like we might end up going lower. I don't know, but at the end of the day, this trade again, it was valid because we had the inverse, we had a sweep on liquidity, we had an even better higher time frame fair value gap being the 4 hour instead of a 15-minute. We had our break even, we had a reason for wanting to go higher, we had a nice area again to break even from, and that really is it. Another reason why this trade was better is because we had a higher time frame inversion, right? The 5 minute instead of a what was it, a 2 minute or 1 minute? What did I use? I think it was a 2 minute on the first trade, right here. So yeah, those were the trades. Clearly a choppy day. So yeah, I don't really know. Like that is a tough skill to know when you're going to run into a choppy day. Um, at the end of the day, we had pumped a lot pre-market, so that's something to take note of. If we pump a lot pre-market, yes, chances are that chances are a bit higher that we could just end up consolidating during New York AM session. Yes, for sure. And that's kind of what we're doing. Like if you go to the 15-minute, you'll see we've just been in this tight range since market open. Uh, so yeah, I mean, that's one way of predicting it. At the end of the day, though, I try not to um, put too many seeds of doubt in my head. I just want to see my entry model. If it aligns with my overall bias, and I have a reason why I want to see price go somewhere, then I'm going to take that trade. Regardless of me trying to predict whether or not we'll be choppy on one day or another. When I'm back testing, I'm not um, I'm not trying to predict whether we'll be choppy. I'm simply looking for my entry model, and I'm seeing, does this align with my bias? It does. Okay, cool. Do I have a reasonable place to take profit? Is there a magnet for? Is there a reason why we're gonna go higher here? Yes, there is. Okay, cool. I'm in. Or is there a reason why we're gonna go lower? Okay, cool. I'm in for a short. Um, and that's why I backtest. And I really don't even look at news when I backtest. I simply, and there might be times when I lose because of that when I backtest. But at the end of the day, my win rate when I backtest is 70, 70 to 75%, and I do really well. And so in order to replicate that when I live trade, I'm simply trying to trade like I trade when I backtest. And I did that today. Today would have been a losing day when I backtested, and I'm okay and happy with knowing that. Um, Again, I said it earlier in the video. It's I can't be mad at the outcome. I can only be mad at the input to get that outcome. So was my input bad? Did I not follow my rules? Did I break? Was my entry model not there? Did I go against my overall bias? What did I do wrong in the input that got me the bad output? And today I'm happy with both my trades I took. So my input I can't be upset with. So it's a good day considering that. So we'll be back at it tomorrow for Friday. Hopefully we can end the week green. I am currently in the green this week, I believe. Let me just check. Um, yeah, just barely in the green this week. So hopefully we can end the week green. Not going to force anything tomorrow, but again, if my model appears, I'll take it. It's important to realize this too. Like if my win rate in backtesting is 70-30, let's say 70-30. So live trading, let's say it's 60-40. Let's be generous, okay? Um, if I decide to sit on my hands, let's just say today I decided to sit on my hands. Um, I saw the entry model. I would have taken it back testing because it's there. But live trading, I just didn't really feel like it was that great. And I used to do this. I'm really trying to break that habit. That could be a day where I win the trade, but I decided to sit on my hands. And then the next day, that my model appears, and I say, you know what? I like this. I'm going to enter. And I end up losing that one. Then I'm not letting probability decide my fate, right? I need to let probabilities decide my fate. If my probabilities are good with my model, then I have to enter every time I see it. Um, as long as it's following my bias and I have a reason for entering again, right? There has to be the underlying reason for the trade, not just because I see an inversion fair value gap in a sweep. But yes, those are the two trades I took today, and yeah, back at it tomorrow.